Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 62 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. Last time I left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. In the middle of the Thracian combat phase, Arion has fallen, and literally I just have a bit of units left to deal with. I really don't think any of my units are going to be bothered by the forces that are approaching. Technically, the commander of this group could do a lot of damage to Oifi with his Brave Lance, especially because everybody else is chipping him for 2 damage apiece. But I think he should still be fine, even if he does get hit by all of them, especially if he does KO the commander, and that's very important. I could always take Faval off of the throne and put Oifi on it. Faval has renewal, and though he's not really that great, he's not really going to be threatened so much by these guys. So there is that. And of course, there is the group of Thracian Draco Knights who decided to go after Meath Castle to the north, and they're going to be soon fighting Julia and figure out that that's a terrible mistake. Notably, I would say that Sed for this particular castle would have been a far and away better choice for defending this place, just because, you know, he's a magical unit who would have KO'd them, let alone the fact that regardless of this, Sed on the gate with light, I think he would have probably done pretty phenomenal, except for maybe the Brave Lance wielder. I don't think he would have had any kind of threat to his life. A lot of these guys are missing, and I think it's just the commander's turn after this. Finally, Oifi actually hit a crit. 2 in a row. You couldn't do that beforehand, buddy? Yeah, he's doing 8 damage apiece. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take Faval out to KO him. Most likely. Julia is going to utterly annihilate these fools. I don't think it's possible for her to die right now against these foes because she is promoted. She has capped magic, and I think she has pretty close to capped speed already as well. Oh wait, no, I think she only has 21 speed. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look at her stats. But either way, Julia is going to mop the floor with them. Poor Thracians. Didn't even know who they're messing with. Yeah, so funny thing too is that had I decided to turn on the animations at this point, it would have been kind of a bit of a wild length of time this would have taken, especially given the fact that Nosferatu is probably the longest casting tome that you have as on your team. I want to say, I think there's only one tome that takes longer to cast, and you don't get that until pretty much the very end of the very final chapter. All right. So, as Julia just mops up the rest of this particular wonderful phase, after she does this, I'm actually going to be bidding you a little bit of an adieu. And the reason why is because I'm going to go ahead and do the arena with my units. I've already done the arena several times in these past few videos. So I think Altena and Finn can just have their time alone and beat the arena, and we don't really have to worry about anything concerning that. Alright. Oh, pretty darn good level up. Speed. Always need speed. Speed is where it's at. And looks like Julia just has 2 left, and she's pretty much conquered them. Pretty much taken them all down. Of course, there is the possibility that if she has low enough defense and HP that the Brave Lance wielding commander could potentially pose a significant threat. If he's two-shotting her and he hits both hits, then this is a reset, which would actually be highly aggravating, let me tell you. Alright, so he would have two-shot. He was doing 24 times 2. She needed 49 plus damage to actually win that fight. Alright. Very grateful that she decided to dodge. And that's a save. And like I said, I am going to be going and dealing with the arena for a moment. And I am back, gamers. For the most part, most of my units have been able to get through the arena. Hannibal and Altena were only able to get to Kanan, and yes, even with the wonderful J-Bolg, I was not able to defeat Kanan. Unfortunately, Finn also... Let's see, could he... I don't remember. Yeah, he couldn't defeat him either, which was kind of a bit unfortunate, but grand scheme of things, Finn, I think the reason why I wasn't using him in the arena was because he was capping out on funds, which really doesn't matter because he's never going to really care. Like, for instance, next chapter, he's just going to be able to use the Paragon Band and remove all those funds, and none of his weapons cost a lot to repair, so there is that. I just have to move Seliph in such a way that he can be danced for right now, and then this chapter's over with, which is pretty darn cool that I'm already done with Chapter 9. I don't think anybody else needs to pair. Patty, ba ba ba. Yeah, I think that's everybody. That is absolutely everybody. So that's pretty cool. With that in mind, it is time to go ahead and seize Thracia Castle. Say, Lewin, did my eyes deceive me, or did Arion really vanish like that? Yeah, he did. Witnesses to the fight are saying Prince Julius appeared and took Arion. The Emperor's son himself? And your half-brother at that. I can hardly believe we share a mother. And yet you do. Empress Deidre was a talented priestess, and it looks like he inherited her skill with the white magic. For Prince Julius, common warping and healing spells are the merest of trifles. He doesn't even need staves. But that's not the whole story, Seliph. Prince Julius's true power comes from something else entirely. How do you mean? Laughter. It's the power of the Dark Lord. Yeah, I'm going to save my progress. Moving on to Chapter 10. With Thracia's downfall, Seliph sets his sights on his final destination, Grand Vale. His route to the Empire takes him through the Miletus district, a collection of 3 cities, which was once a vibrant and wealthy hub of commerce for all of Jugdral. Now, though only a dying land choked by the Empire and Loptrian order lies before Seliph. At Kronos Castle, the seemingly mad rule of Queen Hilda has condemned countless citizens to savage, merciless deaths. Sounds familiar. Very much like modern politics, and who shouldn't be running or ruling. And in the Rados region, Bishop Morrigan, under the command of Archbishop Manfroy, conducts child hunts after child hunt. Man, more modern politics. This game, are we sure that this game wasn't made like 5 minutes ago? Wealth, liberty, hope, even life itself, all crumbled through the people's fingers. Gosh, this is so... As the evil cult piles its sacrificial rituals and piles the bodies of their victims ever higher, Seliph knows he cannot leave Miletus be. Greeted by raucous cheers from the people, the Liberation Army routed the Empire's men in a fierce battle, freeing the city of Pyrlikos. The hope of Miletos had slowly been rotting away in the Empire's hands, but at long last, the arrival of Seliph and his liberation army breathes new life into the nation's future. Chapter 10, Light and Darkness. Kronos Castle.
Ishtar, what's the status here? Everything is moving smoothly according to your plan, Lord Julius. I wonder what it must be like to be as terrified of our sacrifices to the Dark Lord as the peasants must be.
I've seen it myself. Knowing their children are doomed to the state nigh drives them mad with grief, particularly the mothers.
Magnificent! Let them learn now the true meaning of despair. Let their will to live erode and crumble. Let them become little more than rag dolls. Let them become the ideal slaves for the rise of the Leptir Empire.
Also, it seems we've captured far too many children. This castle simply doesn't have the room for them all. How shall I handle this?
Send them to Valhalla at once. I will groom them personally, I think. Friends, family, it matters not. By the end, they will despise each other, ready to kill their own in power's name. Only the fittest will survive, and these fittest will become the ideal citizens of Leptir's new world.
But Lord Julius, what of your father? What of Emperor Arvis? The Emperor refuses to allow any child hunts under his watch.
My father? My father is not worth fretting over, Ishtar. I will persuade him easily.
Lord Julius.
Ishtar, where is his highness?
Oh, mother, the prince just departed for Valhalla.
He did? Did he? You know, Ishtar, I dare say the prince has quite the love for you. Hell, I'm already hearing the wedding bells ring.
I don't.
Open your ears, Ishtar. Frege is by far the most esteemed of all Granvel's noble houses, and I, like the Emperor himself, am of House Veltomer. There is nobody in this land who could ever be worthier to the prince's hand than you.
As you say.
Now then, we have more pressing matters ahead. Those rebels, murderers of my dear husband and son, are coming our way, Ishtar. Now only that, they dared to steal Halster from us. Never has history given Frege a more dire enemy than Seliph, his father and all of his kin. I shall await them here at Kronos, that I may give them the welcome they deserve. You run along to Miletos. After all, those brats won't arrange their own journey to Valhalla.
Yes, mother.
Your Majesty, the mages are in position. However, we have a slight problem. A small few children escaped our hold amidst the cover of confusion from our deployment. What are your orders?
Excuse me? How dare anyone under my command be so incompetent? No matter. Kill them all. Teach them all a lesson. Relay this command to General Riddle at Redos. He is to put them all down at once.
Where do we run now? Sorry, I don't know. But if we get... Don't cry. It'll all be fine. Don't you know? The Crusaders are coming. They'll save us all. I know it. I guess you're right. The Crusaders will come. I know they will.
Rados Castle.
Ah, General Riddell, we've got orders for you from Queen Hilda. She wants you to move out at once.
Excellent. It's high time that we had work, which better befits knights. I'm absolutely fed up with hunting children. I swear if I have to hunt even one more child.
Oh, what a pity that is. You see, we've a handful of escaped brats who are all in sore need of an execution.
Oh, for the love of...
What's this? Are you, a loyal Imperial General, dissatisfied with your orders? Do I smell a filthy traitor to the trust of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Arvis?
No, sir. I could never consider betraying His Majesty. Very well. I suppose I have no choice.
Huh. Honor of a knight. How quaint.
Yes, how quaint indeed. Perlicos. Princess Julia, last I found you. Huh?
Who are you?
The shock stripped you of your memory all those years ago, did it? Perfect. Now come.
No, take your hands off me.
You cannot resist fate, my dear. Now cease your struggle and come along.
No. Lord Seliph, help me.
Seliph, I'm hearing that a couple of children have just fled. Kronos, unless we step in now, they're sure to meet a grisly end. Children? Very well. We'll move out at once. I won't rest until every last one is safe. We've got another problem, too. It's Julia. She's gone. I've searched high and low, but she's nowhere in sight. No. Oh, no. How could this be? I can't believe it either, but that's how it is. My guess is the enemy seized her. But why? Why would they only target Julia? This doesn't make any sense. Hold on, Julia. Wherever you are, no matter what happens, we'll find you. Seliph's phase. Perfect. So, I wonder who I should be sending through this particular arena. Maybe Dermot? I don't think I've sent Dermot through the arena. He doesn't have anywhere near the gold to get Paragon, unfortunately, which is kind of funny. I think he gave all his gold to Lana. I think that's why. Yes, he surely did. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to really help her right now. Oh well. The light brand should be pretty darn good for this, hopefully. Dermot is one of my better units at this moment, and it's just because of how much crit he has on that light brand. A very good, reliable 1-2 range sword is kind of insanely difficult to come across in Genealogy. In fact, it's so difficult, I would say that unless you put crit on a magical sword, you're not really getting a good 1-2 range weapon with anybody that's not using magic, like actual just a sage. Roland, the hero. So I've discussed this on numerous occasions. I really do think that Dermot, with his particular abilities, the utility that I've given him, it might seem like a whole lot of unnecessary favoritism, but I really do think this is a reliable, not just a joke build. I think it's a reliable build, having a unit that is capable of doing the stuff that he's able to do. Dermot, using just, for instance, like a silver sword or even a brave sword or something of that nature, is nowhere near the capacity of Dermot with the light brand, with crit. And the reason why this is just has to come down to the fact that you're not going to get anything out of using this unit with something like a wind sword or a light brand if he doesn't have a magical build that allows him to level that up, as well as a magic ring. You're just not really getting anywhere with that. So the fact of the matter is that sure, I could give him a brave sword and make him a regular physical unit like everybody else in Gen 2 pretty much. But there is a problem, right? Seliph has the ability to use javelins, and arguably Seliph with a javelin is far and away better than Seliph with any magical weapon, because he can't really get good magic. He's just not going to. And then you have somebody like Leaf. Leaf has crit, so he doesn't even need a magical weapon to have KOs on it, because he can just crit with it regardless. That's insane that he just missed her twice. Indra with Bolganone. Gone you are. And another level up, speed 26. It would have been nice if he got magic, but he actually has a pretty good amount right now. So Dermot is at the point where even if he gets no more magic for the rest of this game, he's actually perfectly fine because with this and his current 18 magic, he's going to have a 32, which means he has 64 with a crit, which is actually kind of pretty darn good, all things considered. Yeah, I can't go through the arena yet again. But I can repair the light brand and get it ready for outdoor combat. So I have a lot to take care of, and I will see you momentarily. All right, gamers. So I have finished with all the preparations of this chapter, and as you'll see, pretty much all my characters went through the arena and have changed quite a bit. So Seliph right here, he does have the Silver Sword, Brave Sword, Berserk Edge, and Javelin. I don't know if I'm going to keep the Berserk Edge on him. I just got it just in case I want to do certain strategies in this and next chapter. It's not necessary, being honest with you, and it could just be something that I end up selling anyway to give him gold for a later weapon pickup. He actually got some speed, so he's at 19 speed right now, which is pretty darn good. This is pretty close to the benchmark he needs to be to basically double everything in this gen. Shannon doesn't need any introduction, neither does Ulster or Faval. Faval's not yet able to promote, unfortunately. Leaf has the rescue staff, so it warps one ally within 10 tiles next to the user. This is insane. This is incredible. I cannot wait to show you some of the crazy things you can do with this. It turns this game inside out. In fact, I would say that because this game works the way it does, where you can have basically infinite use items and you just need the gold for it, this is insane. I would dare say it rivals. It's not exactly as powerful as Thracia, but it rivals the power of a lot of the staves in Thracia because it's just that good. And I think he has a talk with Altena that actually does yield something, which would be pretty interesting. Johan is getting there. Not, like I said, he's not going to be a world beater. He's not the best unit you have on your party, but that doesn't matter because he's actually pretty fantastic as long as he does have the Brave Axe and can get some kills with it and so on and so forth. In fact, as you can see, he went through the arena. And some parts of the arena, like, I'm going to tell you right now, Johan at level 30 with much better stats than this, which he's not going to get regardless, would basically have no chance of going through this arena. But the Brave Axe with kill counter on it, crit, yeah, he's perfectly fine. Then I have Sed was able to complete it, barely. It actually took me several tries, and I had to go through other units to do so. Strangely, he's gotten 10% procs of magic, which is pretty great, in my humble opinion. 18 is pretty much the benchmark where he wants to get at. 32 magic damage is very good, especially if you crit. Now, he doesn't have crit on this build, unfortunately, which is saddening, but it's whatever. Dermot, of course, you saw me pile on the destroyed gladiators with him. Finn wasn't able to get through all of the arena, but it doesn't particularly matter. Lester was able to, and now he has 44,000 gold, which is pretty nice. The Brave Bow is at 70 crit, so that's great. Hannibal was able to get through the arena by the wonder of the Brave Sword. And of course, Ares pretty much has no problem with combat. And what's funny too is I typically just go through the arena with the Slim Sword. He only needed to use the Mistleton in the second to the last fight, and it was just because I didn't want to change the RNG. All right, so Arthur, I decided to keep the Miracle Band on Arthur. There is multiple reasons why this is. For one, I totally forgot Tyrfing gives Miracle. So, grand scheme of things, Seliph does not need Miracle. Don't get Miracle on him. That's totally unviable. But it is very good on Arthur because he has very low defense and resistance, and there's very good ways of making sure that he gets to lower than 11 HP. And when he does, whilst equipping Forseti, he's kind of insane. So the Pursuit Band, the Thief Band, the Miracle Band, he has the Forseti, Tornado, Thoron, and Wind. He actually doesn't have any of these tomes for anything other than filler, just because he has the gold for it. the dude's rich and will forever be rich, you can use nothing but the Forseti for the rest of this game, and it's going to be perfectly fine. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get it to 100 KOs, either this chapter or early next chapter, which is nice. Oifi was able to get through the arena, only needing the Brave Sword once. Larse is getting up there. I was able to repair the sleep fully. This is the reason why I gave her all that gold, was to repair the sleep. There's actually a couple of instances where this is going to be useful. Silence and sleep. I think Lana will be able to get to promotion pretty much this chapter. I don't know when she's going to be able to in this chapter, but she will be able to, because I'm going to need sleep and silence for this particular run. She'll also be able to help with physic. I'm going to have her trail behind my units with, her poor movement, but that's all that can be said there. I gave the speed ring to Altena. This speed ring is Leaf's speed ring. The reason why I did this is because I really feel like she benefits from having as much speed as possible, especially because the J-Bolg doesn't give her any speed to note. I'm halfway minded to give her the Slim Lance that good old Finn has, because he doesn't really need it. I'm also halfway minded to give her the Javelin. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the reason why I'm doing this, it's going to seem kind of strange, but Altena is going to be more useful for the rest of this game than Finn will be, and having her have some utility with her weapons is going to be pretty good. And then Fee has gotten rid of a few things, but she's now promoted, as I didn't really mention this, but Altena is promoted as well. Fee is now a Falcon Knight, which can use stave, so I gave her a Men's Staff, which will be nice. I got rid of a couple of her weapons. She doesn't need the Javelin anymore. I gave her Javelin to Seliph. Seliph can use that for certain instances. It's not great. I'm going to be honest with you. It's still not great, but it can be used. All she needs for combat is the Brave Lance, honestly. Tinny is Garbo. Nana is leveled. She is all prepared for this upcoming chapter. I'm pretty sure, I did go over Leaf, because that's all of my units. Now it is time to begin the chapter. So I have to be kind of careful here, because I want to make sure that my units are capable of being danced for. And where shall I go for that? Right here, I think. All right, and yeah, so hilariously, what I have to do here is I have to make a little bit of a sacrifice. So I could attack with something of this sort. Just throw a Javelin. This guy has a pretty good chance to bring Altena's HP down to 1, and he did. But she KO'd, so that's perfectly fine. The issue is that in this chapter, you're fighting a lot, and I do mean a lot of magic units. And first and foremost is the Lapter Bishop Cult that's right here. This guy has a Fortify. You'll see Jormungandrs here, which are very powerful tomes. You also see Hell, which is a 60 hit, 0 might 1-2 range, 28 weight for some unknown reason. I'm not sure why it has 28 exact weight. Cuts HP to 1. This guy has Jormungandr, Silver Sword, Fenrir, so this is the 3 to 10 range tome. Then you have 2 sleep users, Silver Bow. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's 2. It's this guy here and this guy here. So the reason why I make sure that Fee and Altena are capable of moving out like they are and getting danced for is because they're pretty much the only ones that can reach the 2 sleep staff wielders. So, alright, Fee. Go ahead and heal up. I'm pretty sure Altena's still going to need healing. Yes, that's perfectly fine, actually. I'm going to use good old Lana for that. It's going to be fantastic experience points. I don't really want her moved for 4 yet, or danced for, honestly. Or I could have. I could, actually. That would not be that bad of an idea. Alright, so the reason why I decided to give Lana this movement is because I'm actually going to use the sleep staff on her. Plus, she does need to keep up with my unit, so I guess this is fine. It just means that several of my units aren't going to be danced for that are combative, which is, you know, a shame, to say the least, but it's whatever. For SETI, please. Against the Fenrir Mage here. Perfect. And is that a capped out U? 3,000 gold. That is a capped out Arthur. 21 magic is a shame because I do believe he gets a cap of 25. This is actually a big shame because, so there is a magic ring in this chapter. I'm going to be giving it to him. I guess that means that I probably shouldn't have bothered with, maybe I should sell a couple of these items. Maybe the wind, I don't really care about selling it. It's not really going to be that big a deal. Maybe I'll just do that. Alright, with that bit of stuff done, Arthur now has one less weapon. This isn't really that big of a deal. Grand scheme, I could just go back to the any one of the castles and get his inventory cleared of one item, but I just decided to do it now. He's going to have these 3 and the magic ring, which is going to be pretty good for him. Now, who else am I going to have join this crew? Definitely Leaf. Alright, so I'm going to wait right here. I'm going to dance, of course. And everybody else needs to get out here and help out with the enemies. Yeah, this guy has the Fenrir. I halfway want to take him out. Brave Lance on the Sleep Staff Wielder. Perfect. Fee, you have done a great job. One of the things I love about a lot of the promotions in this game is that a lot of them get Adept. So I'm pretty sure that was an Adept proc there. Well, actually, no. That is potential. There's a potential there that wasn't an Adept proc. Which one has the other sleep? Right there. So I think I'm going to attack and KO the other sleep wielder. Perfect, Altena, good job. And then I'm going to put to sleep. She does have the silence. Why can't I silence here? Oh, she doesn't have enough magic. Not great. I'll just throw that out there. Alright, so I would have to get a double crit here in order to KO. That's not great. Brave Bow. Perfect. move you back one. And then I will also move Dermot. Should be an easy victory here, and it was. Very nice. Oh, he didn't. Oh, he did not KO. That's incredible. Very incredible. And I don't at all mean that in any kind of good connotation, that's for sure. Alright, Dermot, be healed. Alright, so I always love guarding the castle with Ced. There's no real need for this, but I just do it anyway. He's not necessary for my strategy. Alright. I wish I had the means to attack and KO the Fenrir wielder, but I do not think that that's actually possible whatsoever. Unfortunately, Ares can join the fray. Of course, Nana can as well. So the only reason why I'm bringing out Corporal is or Carepray, I should say, is because I would like him to be able to heal up my whole party next turn. Decent level up. He doesn't really need the levels, but it was decent nonetheless. Finn can join as well. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and strike you. Yes, and Leaf should have definitely quadded there regardless. Wind Sword. Now I can move out Finn. And the rest of my units are going to stay in the castle and enjoy... Well, I guess Patty can join. I don't really think that that matters too much, I suppose, but I guess she can join. The rest of these units are going to stay in the castle and unfortunately be virtually useless. I would love to continue this chapter post-haste, but it is time for me to bid you all a farewell. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform of choice. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.